And the presenter will be Seralyn Campbell. Please, your 5 minutes.
Hello.
Use them well.
Great. Mic on? Good. Good morning, everyone. My name is Seralyn Campbell, and I'm the Chief Promotions Officer for a company called VReS, based in Tokyo, Japan. So what is VReS? Well, it's VR and esports. And I think everyone is pretty familiar with VR at this point. But for those of you who aren't familiar with esports, it's basically online competitive gaming with high stakes. There's tournaments that are out there with $40 million prize pots. And we see a lot of chance for monetization in this field. And when it comes to VR, if any of you have ever experienced VR, you may have found the same issue that we came to, which was that although there's loads of content available for VR right now, it's by and large trial or experience-based. It doesn't really have the sort of content that you come back to, nothing with lasting power. Once you've done it once, you don't really have the need to repeat it. So what we're doing is we're creating types of content and games that have the ability to become esports, which is a massively growing field every year. Last year, $500 million industry. Next year, it's going to be $1 billion industry. And there's a lot of chance for monetization in this. So there's 4 major aspects of our platform, and I don't have time to go over all of them because I only have probably, 4 minutes or something left, 3 minutes. I usually take 15 minutes to explain this concept. But there's a multi-device matching system, a tournament system, a viewer system, and a betting platform. So I'm only going to touch on the points where our platform really differs from other platforms. So in terms of excuse me, in terms of the betting platform, we're using, how does this tie into blockchain and things? What we're using is an Ethereum-based token, our VReS token, and smart contracts to allow people to bet with safety, confidence, and security. Because there's nothing holding me accountable right now if I want to bet on an online match. And for those of you who may not realize, there is a humongous amount of people who would like to be able to do this. So the tournament system, we've got obviously official sponsored and ranking tournaments. There's nothing special there. But what's really interesting is the user tournament system. We're allowing people to create open-ended smart contracts where when the conditions are met, you're able to have tournaments with large prize pots, even though you may not have money. So I can start a tournament with $20, and everyone, 200 people, throw in $20, and because it's based on a smart contract, there's no fear of that money being run off with. And then I can offer a $40,000 prize pot. So it gives people the ability to choose to become esports competitors, whereas currently you have to be chosen by one of the few sponsored teams that are available. So the viewer system is, I could talk about this for 15 minutes. Long story short, you're able to enter the VR space and you're able to spectate the game from any perspective you like. Imagine being able to do that for a soccer match. I would certainly hover right here over Cristiano Ronaldo's chest, but that's just me. So it's something that we believe with increased engagement and interactivity, people are going to be betting more, they're going to be tipping more, there's going to be a lot larger of a flow of money going back and forth. So in terms of our roadmap, where we're at right now, we just launched our pre-sale about 4 or 5 days ago, and our ICO is in about 2 weeks. We're going to be releasing our first game in November and our second game in January. We're going to have an exhibition at the Tokyo Game Show in September. Please come. Basically, this is a project that I really believe in, and I think is going to be super, how can I say, game-changing in the gaming industry. Sorry, I have terrible jokes. So this is where we're at. Like I said, we have a soft cap of $5 million, which we've already achieved through private investors based in Japan, and our hard cap is $30 million, which we hope to achieve during our ICO phase. There's 330 million total tokens, and like I mentioned about our pre-sale already, which this is mostly repetitive information. So I'm going to go ahead.
One more minute.
One more minute. These are our QR, you know what these are. Please join our stuff if you have any interest at all. We do have a booth out there where I would love to give you a deeper explanation for what we're doing, because 5 minutes is truly not enough time to get it across. But I just want to impart upon you that although we're a gaming company, we're mostly a VR company. We're creating a platform, an ecosystem in which money can change hands in a safe and confident, secure way where one does not currently exist, utilizing a technology that's extremely beautiful and wondrous, like the blockchain, which is underutilized, like the blockchain, which is VR. And we found a way to make it usable. People have got these headsets that they've purchased and they're just collecting dust, and we want to change that. So that's all I've got for you. Thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you. And Jeffrey's doing. You do go.
Yes.
Okay. Jeffrey's joining Seralyn for the Q&A. So no, don't run now. Go in 5 minutes. We won't be fair here. 5 minutes for the. Can you reset it, please? Start over. Yeah. Okay. Please. Questions.
This isn't on, is it? Oh, can you hear me? Yeah. I'm Jeffrey Rowe. I'm the COO of VReS. Throw it at me, guys.
All right. Nice to meet
Ready
you.
Player One.
So, sounds like you were trying to do two things. You were doing game development, VR game development, and
It's mostly platform development. So headset agnostic type of platform where independent game creators can create games on our platform. So we're creating the platform.
Okay.
Just
so are
just
you
to make it
making
clear.
games or no?
We're setting the first kind of couple of games, but we're partnering with independent game creators, game manufacturers to create games for the platform.
Okay, good. I was going to recommend that would be a better approach. So basically, your core competency here is in building a tournament and wagering system using smart contracts so that VR game developers can allow players to create stakes and wager and bet on the games.
Yes, and the spectating system inside the immersive environment. So that's a key. I don't know if, how deep she went into it, but the spectating is something that we see as a huge piece of the whole. So bringing all these pieces together, imagine not having to go to the current esports gaming, you have to go to a stadium, sit there with 30,000 people, watch a flat screen from 300 meters away and kind of figure out what's going. We think that people will see a huge benefit in being able to get into the immersive space, watch these gaming pros or people that they want to learn from. They can also, of course, bet on the actual results of the matches, but I think the big thing is any gamer wants to get in there, watch what's going on, learn the strategy, learn the movements or whatnot from these gamers, and then they can come out and go, I can do that. Let me try. And then you can just get straight in and play.
And last question for me, what's the model of your token itself? What is it used for?
So as Seralyn mentioned, we're creating this ecosystem, right? So, and if I don't answer this correctly, just let me know. So we're creating the cryptocurrency for tournament entry. And just like perhaps maybe people have seen in poker systems where tournament entry fees are given to a certain amount of people, let's say the top 15 or the top 50% of people will end up, how well they do within the tournament, they'll end up getting paid out based on how well they do, right? So the first place might get obviously the highest amount and then go down. So inside of that, there's a whole bunch of ways where the gamers who do well will be able to receive economic benefit and value from performing well. And
Can people wager with ETH and other ERC20 tokens or only with your token?
it's only with the VReS token. Now, she did mention that it is based on Ethereum. Now, we haven't actually decided if that's going to be the usable, in the base platform for our system. But for our ICO launch, we're using an ERC20 token just for the launch. We have been talking with Diego and other people at RSK, and we're still evaluating platforms that we may be able to use.
Thank you very much. I think it's a cool story. I just recently learned that esports is a huge market, particularly for us silver surfers, and we can be winners in esports. That's great. I think building platform is a great story as well. Has it something to do with blockchain? Because from my point of view, blockchain is an area which is extremely particularly helpful if you need to build trust and to be able to have the history of something, and I do not so much get why this needs a blockchain.
Sure. So inside of each of these games, there's going to be, we expect that over time there will be more and more games. Inside each of those games, the results of the matches will be able to, you'll be able to see how well you perform, right? So we're taking all the results of the matches, using blockchain tech to then help to rank people within the games, how well people are doing over time. And Seralyn did mention there's a bunch of different styles of tournaments. There's going to be a ranked tournament where people obviously over time who've done very, very well within that system can then get, like people can start betting on them based on the ranks. So that will take time before we can establish the ranks. It's not like you play one match and then you're able to get a rank. So it's creating odds by using the information from all the matches you've been able to play in the game. Yes, sir.
So it's mostly Mine is, it's mostly the trust, right? So the trust element that you want to bring on the platform. Is the platform then more to be understood, let's say, as like an operating system? So you basically can get the content of game providers and basically the tournaments running on the platform.
Yes.
How you make sure you get the content on the platform, how you make sure that you really create the ecosystem and also acquire then the players to come to your platform. Also, my second question, you might know
No more
that,
time for the second question.
Okay.
Give him time for the answer.
Okay.
So if I get it correctly, you're curious of how we're going to convince game manufacturers to create games for the platform. You're also curious how we're going to convince players to come in, play these games, and how we're going to get the ecosystem going. Is that the right way? So one of the things that we've been trying to do is how do you convince and incentivize people who perhaps, maybe it's already professional esports gamers or whatnot, to come to a new platform and spend the time when they know that there's millions, almost billions of dollars available in the current esports world, right? One thing that we have done is we've created these systems, incentive structures within. I know my time is going. Aaron wants me to get off stage. But we've created a bunch of incentive structures. If you'd like to know a little bit more, I can go in details over at our booth. But we have a huge system partnered with Micro ICO, professional gaming company, and stuff like this. So
if you're interested in investing, you can talk with them. Sorry for being so nasty.
No worries. I know how it goes.
I did the same thing in Croatia in 3 minutes. 5 is a lot. 5 is a lot.
I've got an elevator pitch.
No, you were great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy the rest of the conference.